pag pumibisita kasi sa amin, we make it a point na tinuturuan namin yung mga visitors namin about natural farming.
Ang survival rate namin doon nasa 85 to 90% po.
Wow! So, nakakatuwa naman yan. Good news nga. So, dalawang maipapayo natin sa ating mga taga-subaybay.
Tubig na mainit, lagyan ko ng produkto mo, wala yung kalamansi, walang lemon. Anong lasa?
Kasi nagko-conduct pa sila ng seminar sa mga gustong magpasok dun sa mga hatchery ng hito.
Ano ba tong biochar na to? Pwede ba natin pag-usapan? Ano po ang biochar? Magandang araw, ako po si Amy Puico at ito ang Agree Ako Dyan. Ngayong araw sisilipin natin ang mga tanim na di mo akalaing kinakain. Ano ang mga tanim na ito? Ang mga bulaklak. Karaniwang nagbibigay tayo ng mga bulaklak tuwing may birthday, anniversary at Valentine's Day. Kaya isang magandang gift idea ang hatid namin sa araw na ito. Kaya tutok lang kayo sa aming pagbabalik. Ito ang Agree Ako Dyan. Nagbabalik po ang Agree Ako Dyan. Ngayong araw makakasama po natin ay galing ng silang Cavite. Sila nga po ang Marketing Associates ng Pedro Farms. Kasama po natin si Ms Abby Corvera at Sir Nico Durian. Hello po.
Hi.
Hi, good afternoon po.
Afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Kayo na ko po yung nababanggit sa GAP1, no, na pag-uusapan natin ay mga bulaklak. Ngayong araw ng mga puso, pag-uusapan natin ay bulaklak. Yan, marami talagang bumibili niyan pagka-araw ng mga puso eh. Pero this time, pag-uusapan natin edible farm po. So, edible flowers ang pag-uusapan natin. Ma'am Abby, Sir Nicolo, ano ba itong edible flowers na pag-uusapan natin ngayong araw?
So, like you said po, edible flowers are, this coming Valentine's, they're supposed to be something that's gonna trend, especially now because you want to show appreciation and care to your loved ones. So, edible flowers are a perfect way to show that because not only do they add flavor to your dishes, but they also garnish them by adding color to it. And actually, more than just that, they do have potential health benefits that will be discussed later on. So, with that, it is important to note that not all flowers are edible. So hopefully through the information that we share with what we learned here at our farm, we can give you an idea on how to identify what is possible to consume, specifically the 3 flowers that we grow here in our farm. So the first one would be the Begonia Cocolata. These are native to South America, and they can grow up to 18 inches in height and 24 inches in width. And cocolata means that it's hooded, so this is referring to the shape of the flower. And what's special about it also is that its leaves are glossy and scallop-like, which is why it's also commonly known as the club begonia. The second flower that we grow here in the farm is the Impatience, specifically Impatience walleriana. And these are native to Eastern Africa naman. They grow 6 to 2 inches tall, and they are mounded with lower leaves that touch the ground. There are many varieties of these Impatiens, one of which is the most common one is the one that we grow here, the Impatiens walleriana. And it consists of a series of cultivars and is more commonly known as busy lizzie. And they are one of the most popular bedding plants with a wide variety of colors, which you will see throughout this presentation. The last would be the Sweet Williams. So these are native to Southern Europe, and it is prized for its densely packed, flattened clusters of small flowers. These naman can grow up to 12 to 24 inches tall and 6 to 12 inches wide. They are ideally used in cottage gardens and perennial beds or containers. And because it comes in vibrant shades, it's attractive to a lot of pollinators such as butterflies, bees, and hummingbirds. So these are the 3 that we grow here in our farm.
Okay. Ma'am, kasi kanina nabanggit mo, hindi lahat ng flowers pwedeng kainin. So ano yung common na makikita natin kahit sa physical features ba makikita na pwedeng kainin yung mga bulaklak at hindi pwedeng kainin?
Yes, there are one of the main things to keep in mind before consuming flowers is of course checking credible resources. So things like the begonias, hibiscus, those are the more common ones. Roses, chamomiles, dandelions, these can be consumed. But the best way to see if they are consumable or not is to really fact check, whether through online or books or any credible resource person who might know of these edible flowers.
Kasi nabasa ko, meron silang mga toxins, no? That can affect your, yung stomach natin. Intestine natin pag kumain tayo or magkaroon ng skin irritation. So, hindi basta-basta ang pagkain ng mga bulaklak. And then, sabi mo din, kailangan alam natin kung saan galing yung mga bulaklak. Sa inyo, paano nyo inaalagaan? Let's say yung begonia, paano ito pinaplant? Ano yung mga ginagawa nyo sa pag-maintain, sa pag-care, and yung pesticides, gumagamit ba tayo? Kasi edible to, dapat wala.
Yes, of course po. So Nicola will be explaining more on the growing and care for these plants. Yes.
Hi, ma'am. So in growing the edible blooms or our edible flowers, there are certain factors that you have to take in mind. So for the specific, like our begonia, sweet williams, and our impatience, how we grow them and the best way you can grow them as well is you have to take in these two factors, which is the most important. And of course, there will be sub factors to that. You have to take into consideration when you are gonna plan on consuming and also harvesting and planting your edible blooms. First is the sunlight. So your edible blooms need sufficient sunlight, so you have to make sure it's in a open area that sunlight will really get to it. Secondly, you have to make sure your environment is in a cool environment. So those two things are very important. You might get confused na there's sunlight and it has to be cool. So what it needs is the sun rays pointing at it, but it also needs the wind blowing on it to be cool, just to keep it really fresh and also help it bloom. That's what makes it bloom more. In terms of the pesticides, we really don't use pesticides, and it's also a big deal not to put pesticides or spray any synthetic nutrients or anything synthetic on their plants, because those are things you're going to be consuming. And once you do consume those, especially if it's sprayed on the plant itself, it's something that will be directly consumed by you. So what you're consuming is not just the flower, but also the synthetic nutrients or the pesticides you've sprayed. So how to maintain your flowers to have no insects is really monitoring it by yourself. So how you do this is you personally take the insects out by yourself. That's how to do it. That's how we do it here in the farm. So by doing this, of course, you avoid the pesticides. Since this stuff or our flowers are grown on soil, because that's where they're supposed to be grown. You can't really grow them anywhere else. You can, but it's very hard to do so. And because they're grown in soil, they're more prone to insects. So doing this is more tedious to do, because it's something you really have to monitor throughout. Another factor is, of course, your basic plant care, like fertilization, watering of plants. So for the watering of plants, you do this more or less 2 to 3 times a day. So for doing this, the best way to do it is really by experience and by experimentation, based on your location and on your climate around you. So how you do this is, of course, you're gonna experiment. You're gonna water it 2 or 3 times a day. You see what works best to make the flowers bloom. So once you find that, you stick to that routine, because once you know what's best for your flowers, that's when you can find the best results for your flowers. For now, that's really how we do it in the farm, and those are tips you can take also if you're ever planning to grow them yourself.
Yeah.
Ang begonia is all year round, nagbo-bloom, tama? Or seasonal?
So the begonias actually take 4 months before they bloom.
Mm-mm.
And you can before you can harvest
before you
it.
can harvest
Yeah.
them.
So, you
it-
can harvest. Oo.
Yes. So from seeding, from sowing stage, it will start to flower in about 1.5 months. Then once it flowers, that's when you can start counting to 4 months. After 4 months is when you can start harvesting them and start consuming them.
Yes po.
Oh. Ang begonia nyo, ano yun? Yung, may nabasa kasi ako, wax and tuberous. Alin doon yung tinatanim nyo?
Ours is the wax begonia po.
Bakit?
Like we said, well, this applies to all 3 flowers that we choose to produce here at the farm. Why we choose to produce it, there are 3 main reasons. So firstly, they do fit our target market.
Mm-mm.
And the second reason is because here in Silang, as Nicola said, the climate here is perfect. There's still sun, but the air can get really cold and it's grown in an open space. And for the third reason as to why we did choose these 3 is because they match our current products, specifically our salad mixes, which you'll see, I think we released it a few days ago, that we mix these edible flowers with these salad mixes because they complement each other's taste. So that's why we chose these 3 flowers specifically to grow.
Oh, ibig sabihin yung wax and tuberous na variety ng begonia is totally different.
So the latter that you said, some people, when you do take into it, it does have an effect on those who have the sickness called called goiter. So when you do take them, it does affect your throat. So when we pick wax, it's the safest and healthiest. So even with the goiter, if you have goiter, you can still consume the wax begonias. So that's why we took it into consideration, so we can fit a wider variety of our
target,
markets.
yeah.
Yes.
Oo, okay. Sige, at least clear na. Kasi inisip ko, pareho naman silang begonia. Bakit kailangan wax lang, di ba? So,
Yeah.
from begonia, jump naman tayo dito sa Impatience. Impatience is, mas kilala siya sa touch me not na pangalan.
Yes po.
Yes po.
So, how do you grow impatience sa inyong farm?
So ma'am, the growth of this is actually just the same. For the 3 flowers that we have, we actually grow them basically in one section, and they're all grown similarly to each other. Just the exact same thing to consider, like the sun, the cool environment, the watering, and the pesticide free. Those are all things na you consider for all 3 flowers. So doing that is all applicable for all 3 of them.
Pero, kasi sabi mo kanina, yung begonias kailangan ng sunlight na nandun siya sa open field. Ang Impatience, saan siya nakalocate? Saan natin siya tinatanim sa farm?
Same
Yeah.
area po as the begonias and sweet williams. They're all in one open field po. Open area.
Pati Impatience dun din, open field.
Yes po, all of them.
Akala ko nakalagay siya sa greenhouse.
No.
So the reason why the flowers are not in the greenhouse, unlike our other produce here, is because they're not as sensitive to
As the high value crops that
Yeah.
we do grow in the greenhouse. Yeah. So they still thrive in these open spaces and open areas. There's no need, they're not as sensitive as we said earlier, the high value crops such as the lettuces, the flowering plants po.
Mm-mm. Kasi may nakita ko for the Impatience, parang nagtatanong kung kailangan ng shade ng Impatience. So naisip ko agad na sa loob siya ng ng greenhouse. Kaya hindi yung tanong ko, oo. So okay lang siya na nasa field din, katulad ng ibang flowers natin.
Yes po.
Yes po. And even though you do place them in a greenhouse, it's also
Not
suggested
completely
na we
shaded.
don't completely shade it. Again, because sunlight is very important for the flowers to bloom po.
Mhm.
Tulad din ba siya ng ng begonia na 4 months din before harvest?
For the Impatience, it's 2 months till harvest.
Mas mabilis.
Mhm.
Gaano
The
katagal
begonia-
siya nag-bloom na tuloy-tuloy?
2 months.
months po.
Yes.
2 months ang tuloy-tuloy siya. Impatience is 4 months. Mas matagal. I mean, begonia.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes po.
begonias 4 months.
Okay. How about sweet williams?
1 month po for this.
Okay. So, iniisip ko sa presyo, mas mahal ang Sweet Williams.
Well, actually, the way we market it here is we all have them, all 3 flowers are all the same price po at 115 pesos for 50 grams.
Sila. Yes, nakita ko yun, yung spring mix nyo.
Yes, but we
They-
also have spring.
Yeah, the spring mix. That's what we mean by it fits our current product, so we can incorporate it to what we already have.
So, yung mga high value nyo, yung mga lettuce, nandun, kasama yung flowers.
Yeah.
So, it's good. Yung spring mix is a salad. Tama?
Yes.
Yes.
Po.
This salad actually consists of the romaine, green ice, and Lolorosa. And then we already had an existing product called the salad mix and also power mix. So what we did to just incorporate it is we made a new mix called the spring mix, and that's when we incorporated the 3 flowers.
Curious ako. Ano yan? Eh, kasi 4 months lang yung begonia. 4 months yung begonia tuloy-tuloy. And then, 2 months naman yung Impatience and 1 month yung Sweet Williams. Paano natin ma-maintain yung spring mix natin kung gano'n na magkakaiba yung tagal ng pag-bloom nila?
So with that, the production team that we have here in Pedro Farms makes sure that there is a cycle that caters to the continued production of our spring mix or these edible flowers that we have here at the farm. So that's on the production department's end.
Production. Di ba siya pasok sa farm? Management?
So the farm is actually, we're all built on one society here basically. So we all work together to make things so we can produce everything properly and make everything very efficient. So yun, everything is very planned. So from our COO to our production manager, everything is planned. So for the harvesting of the plants and everything, for that we have our production manager make sure that all of these things will be able to be harvested in one time. So when we harvest our green ice, we can also start harvesting our blooms. So all of those really come together because everything we have here is already scheduled.
Oo, so planado. So hindi sila, pag binukas mo yung salad mo, hindi mo mamimiss yung isang bulaklak. Tama?
Yes. That's the goal, and that's what we try to achieve here. The proper growing cycle that will cater to, the products that we plan to sell and when we sell them.
Sa spring mix, limited lang ba to? Limited time ang ating product?
No. Well, we really plan to have this as something that will really continue to be on the website throughout the rest of the year. So, yeah.
Again, sorry.
We plan to have this spring mix not just for now, but something that you can buy on the website throughout the rest of the year.
Or even the next year.
The next years to come, yeah.
Oo.
It's not.
Kasi
But
ngayon lang din ako nakakita ng mga edible flowers sa salad na nag-o-offer talaga. I mean, nagbebenta talaga sa market.
yeah, definitely. I think one big factor as to why we released it at this time is, of course, as you said, Valentine's Day is coming up. So it would be, it fits the theme of this month, and it might even attract more people in the market because of the time we released it.
Also, because like the market again, yes, Valentine. So you're basically hitting 2 birds in 1 stone, and it's such a good idea na, in Valentine's, there are 2 things na you go for in Valentine's when you go with your significant other. 2 gifts. You have flowers and you have food. So this is such a cool idea to really incorporate because flowers is already being given, and then the fact that flowers are edible also is 2 birds in 1 stone. And now we offer them also in the packs, so you can do whatever you want with it, and then afterwards you can also consume it. You have it in the salad mix. So it's such a great idea na we have flowers, especially in this time of the month.
Yes.
Yes. Kasi ang alam talaga sa Pilipinas, no, ang kilala lang natin na edible flowers, bulaklak ng kalabasa. Which is hindi mo naman pwedeng ibigay sa Valentine's Day. Okay naman at practical, pero iba pa rin yung special treatment na merong ganito, merong begonia, merong mga sweet williams. Saan kayo kumukuha ng binhi pala nito?
I'm sorry, what?
Saan kayo kumukuha ng seeds? Paano nyo ba ito itinatanim? By seeds?
We import the seeds po for these. Yeah.
So hindi siya talaga dito sa Philippines. Imported ito, mga bulaklak natin.
Yes
Nag-grow
po.
na lang dito, tama?
Yes po.
Oo. O diba, mas special pa kasi imported yung flowers.
Exactly.
Exactly po. We want the best produce to be served to our customers also.
Yes. Kasi kung gusto mong kumain ng mga edible flowers, kailangan pumunta ka pa sa mga 5-star hotel, di ba? 3-star, 4-star
Yeah.
hotel. But this time, you can access na lang online and magpa-deliver na lang sa inyo. Nag-deliver ba ang Pedro Farms?
Yes,
Yes
we do
po.
deliver po.
We deliver. Depending on the way we deliver it is also dependent on your area, which can be seen on our website.
Okay. So pagbabalik po natin, pag-usapan natin paano naman natin makokontak ang Pedro Farms kung gusto natin i-avail itong kanilang spring mix salad. Ito po ang agree ako dyan. Nagbabalik po ang agree ako dyan. Kasama ko pa rin po si Ma'am Abby and Sir Nico ng Pedro Farms. Hello po ulit. So kanina na-discuss na natin yung iba-ibang flowers na pwede nating kainin at available sa inyong farm. So ngayon, nabanggit din kasi ni Ma'am Abby kanina na maraming health benefits ang mga edible flowers. So ano-ano nga yun, Ma'am?
So, health benefits of edible flowers generally is that they do possess nutritional value. So this is because they're rich in moisture, carbohydrates, proteins, and they're also low in lipids. They also contain amounts of ash and dietary minerals such as calcium, iron, potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, or zinc. And they also contain high antioxidant capacities that suggest positive effects on oxidative stress-related diseases. So these are diseases such as cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, diabetes. But if we are speaking of the 3 flowers here that we do grow, so for the begonias, the begonia as a plant has numerous medical applications. So some of this are their leaf saps can actually be used to cure sore throats. The leaves are also consumed as teas for when you have a cold. And the shoots of the flower also can be used for upset stomachs. And for the flower itself, it contains antivirus and antibacterial properties that could be helpful for flu and coughs. So especially now in the season of the pandemic, I'm sure this is something that we have in the back of our heads and worry about. So it is said that the begonia can help provide nourishment for these areas and these diseases. And yes, they also contain natural compounds that are good for maintaining the health of your digestive systems. So for the second flower, the impatience, the juice of the impatience actually is known to treat different types of skin ailments, specifically also the poison ivy toxicity. In North America, they actually used impatience as herbal remedies for bee stings, insect bites, and stinging rashes. The efficacy of the plant and was used for irritations with gastrointestinal canal and can also help alleviate inflammations caused by allergies. And the last one, the sweet williams. These are actually medicinally used traditionally by the Chinese people for a range of health concerns, such as urinary system concerns. And it was also actually used to treat esophageal cancer, colon cancer, stomach cancer, and a variety of other illnesses. However, despite this information, it's still always best to consult your doctor. I guess I want to end on that important note. Despite these researches, always consult your doctor because it's always a case-to-case basis. But these are just general information on what these flowers do have and how they were used before as medicinal purposes.
Yes. So, napakadami palang benefits niyan sa atin. Pero Pero ano ba? Meron bang na-overdose sa pagkain din ng bulaklak?
Yes, one of the precautions that are mentioned when you do search on how to eat edible flowers is with anything, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing, right? So it's always important to use this sparingly so that, you don't cause any digestive problems, especially for people with allergies. It's important that you introduce these flowers into your diet very gradually because we don't know how this can trigger your body or your health. So that's why at the end of it, I guess one thing to really remember, and that's really important, is first fact check all the time, and always at the end of it consult your doctor, because I think it's important to remind yourself that this is a case-to-case basis on how much one can eat and how much one's body can take.
Yes. Maliban sa salad, saan pa natin pwedeng gamitin itong begonia, sweet Williams, and Impatience?
So other than salads, there are actually many different ways to eat it. One common one would be in desserts. I'm sure this is one of the things that caused it to trend as well. You see these cakes with these beautiful flowers on it. So definitely you can use these 3 flowers on cakes, dessert. Another interesting way that people actually use them is they freeze it in ice cubes. So if you have an ice tray, you can put it on and then freeze it there. Place it in your water. It'll make your water look extra pretty. And other ways people eat them is also by crystallizing them into candies using sugar. So in that way, more than just making them into candies, it's also a nice way to preserve it. Other ways is people use it in their drinks, like cocktails or iced teas. As mentioned a while ago, tea, like hibiscus tea, is something that's also very common. That's using edible flowers, right, in your drinks. And you can actually also pickle the petals of certain flowers, such as the rose flower. You can pickle that and use the juice for whatever, like salads or your drinks, just to heighten the taste. So there are really many ways online. If you search, multiple recipes will come up for you.
Gusto ko yan yung sa drinks.
Yeah.
Mga juice. So refreshing talaga siya. So kanina sinasabi ko na ma-avail nila kayo. Paano? Online? Paano ba pupunta sa Pedro Farms?
Okay, Nicola will explain more on the...
So Pedro Farms is available to anyone who wants to order. You just have to go to pedrofarms.com. And once you go there, you can see all of our products, and we can tell you also what our products are. So on the website, once you have checked out or once you know what your orders are, it will guide you on how we'll have it delivered and how you can pay for the products. So it's as easy as that. So all you have to do is really just visit our website, pedrofarms.com.
Yes. You can order from there, and delivery details are also there as well. So yes, also our links to our social media accounts, just so you can know more about their farm.
Sa perspective ng bibili, ito bang spring mix na mabibili ko ng retail? Paano ba? Paano ang order natin ito? Meron ba tayong tawag dito? Numbers of orders bago natin ma-process?
So we don't actually have a minimum order. You can buy even just 1 pack and we can have it delivered. So it's really good that you can buy as much as you want. So we sell this not in bulk. We sell them in our clamshell. They're actually food grade and biodegradable packages. So we really want to keep it also economical. We want to be eco-friendly here. So by this, we just put all of our produce in this food grade, either in Ziplocs or in packages. For the spring mix, it comes in this clamshell that you can even eat there as long as you want the produce.
Eat directly from it. But as of now, it's sold just as is, not by bulk.
Okay. So, magkano? Yan ang tanong.
So our spring mix now is 185 pesos per pack po.
Per pack. Ang laman nun ay begonia, sweet Williams, Impatience, and then mga high value natin, lettuce.
Yes, so it comes with the 3 flowers that we have, and we have our Lola Rosa, our romaine, and our green ice in that mix. And we also added arugula into it.
Oh, so sulit na yung 185.
Yes.
Yes. So Sa Pedro Farms, nakita ko hindi lang edible flowers ang meron kayo. Ano-ano pa makikita natin sa Pedro Farms?
So the edible flowers are just actually 3 out of like 47, or we actually have 70 plus produce and products here in our farm now. And me and Abby can actually tell you that what our produce are.
So I can start. So for our fruiting plants, one of the most recent ones are our aubergines. They're these eggplants that we released by threes, so you can buy them per pack by threes. Next, of course, what we talked about during this webinar are the flowers, the Begonia, Impatience, Sweet Williams. We actually also have different types of mushrooms. So there's the pink oyster, a Florida white oyster, brown, yellow, and angel oyster mushrooms available here at the farm. We also sell bell peppers of 3 colors, so red, yellow, and green. We have 2 types of tomatoes here right now. First, the cherry plum and the salad tomatoes. The other things we do have are our baby corn, hot pepper, long peppers, the 2 types of cucumbers. This is snack cucumber and Japanese cucumber. We also have French beans. And then for our leafy products, we have...
for leafy products, we have bok choy, romaine, green ice, and lola rosa. So the romaine, green ice, lola rosa, as I said, those are available also in our packs, the salad mix and power mix. Most of these are also available in packs, or also we sell them in wholesale per kilo. So in our website, you can see those po. So aside from those, we also have curly kale, Toscana kale, and Chinese kale. We have cilantro, arugula, leafy spinach, basil, mint, dill, parsley, bunching onions, and as I mentioned, the salad mix, power mix po. So the salad mix is the romaine, green ice, and lola rosa. For our power mix, it's the green ice, romaine, lola rosa, and also kale. We also have sage. And then also, as mentioned, not yet mentioned, but we also have microgreens po. So our microgreens, we have the microgreens mix. So that consists of the broccoli sprouts, the green radish, and purple radish. And then we also sell those in individual packs if you want to buy them like that po.
Oh, ang
So,
dami
that's
pala.
all for now.
This can all be seen on the website. I know
Yes.
it's a lot to take in,
Yes.
but just go to the website. You'll see everything there.
Dami
Yes,
pala.
po.
Ang dami pala mabibili sa Pedro Farms. Iniisip ko, ilan ng tao ng Pedro Farms para ma-maintain ang farm? Ilan ng staff? Ilan ng maintain?
Well, right now we actually have 32 people here. Then that's already considering us, the management, the greenhouse
Oo.
workers, everyone around in the farm actually is already considered in that. So we have 32 people.
30, tama? 30 ba?
32 po.
32 lang pero ang daming kaya i-produce Nakakatuwa yan. So, maraming salamat po. I'm curious pa pala ako, pwede ba mag-tour sa Pedro Farms?
Of course, ma'am,
Yes,
we'd love to have you.
We'd love to have you guys here soon. Just let us know when so we can set a date if ever.
Yan, hintayin natin ma-lift itong pandemic at makapasyal tayo dyan.
Yes.
Magano din ba kayo? May pick and pay din ba? Pag nag-tour doon?
So as of now, we're actually strictly not allowing much people inside the greenhouse. So that's to conserve the produce. We don't really want the insects from the
Pest
people.
prevention, yeah.
Pest po. So to keep the quality high po, we really assign certain set of people for certain greenhouses.
Yeah.
Even us, really, we're not even allowed here. Only our greenhouse staff are allowed inside our greenhouses to maintain the
The
quality of our
freshness and the
produce.
quality, yeah.
Kailangan
But you can-
i-maintain ng quality.
Yeah. You can
You can
actually
see
view
the
it.
produce from outside
Yes po.
of the greenhouse.
So, maganda pa rin na makapag-tour kasi makita tayo ng kakaibang technology pagdating sa farm. Nakita ko mga greenhouse at sobrang green talaga. Lalong-lalo na gusto kong puntahan yung flower farm nyo. Ma'am Abby and Sir Nico, thank you po sa pagsama sa amin.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you for
us
having us.
also.
At ayan na nga, Valentine's na po. Kaya happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's, order from Pedro Farms.
Yes, you can get our flowers. They're already available po. So
We also actually have a new Valentine's Day product lineup.
Yes.
We've actually posted about it just a few minutes ago or an hour ago. So you can see this on our website or also on our social media, Facebook and Instagram specifically.
Yes po. We have the special Valentine's mix, what we call it, and we also have a
Yeah, we have a
bouquet.
salad bouquet. So it's a bouquet made out of lettuce
Wow,
instead of
salad bouquet.
flowers. Yeah.
So go visit our website po. You can see everything there.
Yes.
Oo, wag na kayong bumili ng mga naka-stem lang. Ito, healthy. Nakakain, nakakapusog. Sabi kasi no, iba, ba't ako bibili ng flowers? Ano lang yan, mabubulong lang yan, di ba? Pero ito, makakain mo, healthy ka pa. Ganda
Exactly.
na, healthy pa. Ayan. Thank you again, Ma'am Abby and Sir Nicolo. At sa ating mga kasama, isang kaalaman na naman po tungkol sa agrikultura ang ating napag-usapan. Ang Pedro Farms nga ay may 3 edible flowers na pinoproduce. Ito ay ang Begonia, Impatience, at Sweet William. Ito ay patok na patok lalo na po ngayong Valentine's Day at ito po ay attractive at maraming benefits. Kaya naman maraming salamat po ulit, Sir Nicolo and Ma'am Abby. Hanggang sa muli, ito po ang Agree Ako Dyan.
Agree ako dyan.